Marn crossed his arms, a serious look on his face. But we need to discuss our future. The Galactic Council has many responsibilities, and we must consider how this alliance can benefit us all. Glip piped up, his eyes bright. Can we be friends? I want to learn more about humans and their crazy ways. He bounced with excitement, earning smiles from those around him. Dave grinned, sensing the shift in mood. Absolutely. Let's talk about what we can achieve together. We have a lot to share and we can learn from each other. As the discussions began, the council members and humans broke into smaller groups, chatting animatedly. They discussed their cultures, technologies, and ideas for collaboration. The council members found themselves fascinated by human inventions, like their devices for communication and entertainment. Marn found himself speaking with Sarah, a clever human who had participated in the contests. Your technology is impressive. We have advanced weapons, but your tools seem to connect people in ways we haven't considered. Sarah smiled, eager to share. We have many things that can help with peace and unity. Maybe we can help each other find ways to communicate better. Meanwhile, Elder Zorak spoke with Dave, intrigued by the idea of human creativity. Your ability to bring joy and chaos has a strange power, he said, looking contemplative. We often focus on duty and strength. Perhaps we should embrace more of this creativity. Dave nodded enthusiastically. We can work on projects together. How about a cultural exchange? We can show you our art and music, and you can teach us about your history and traditions. As the discussions continued, a plan began to form. They decided to create a joint festival celebrating both cultures, filled with games, music, and stories. It would be an opportunity for both humans and council members to share their strengths and learn from one another. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the arena, the mood shifted from excitement to determination. They knew they were building something special, a new alliance that could change the future of both species. Marn, who had been skeptical at first, spoke up. If we can work together, perhaps we can find a way to face our common threats. The universe is vast, and we may encounter dangers that require us to unite our strengths. Dave agreed, his expression serious. Exactly. Together we can stand against anyone who threatens our peace. We've seen how joy can bring us together. Imagine what our combined skills can do. The crowd nodded in agreement, the spirit of collaboration growing stronger. They realized that their differences could create something unique and powerful. This alliance was not just about peace, it was about growth, creativity, and understanding. As the stars began to twinkle above them, Elder Zorak raised his voice. Let us forge this new alliance. We will work together, learn from each other, and create a brighter future. Together we are stronger! Cheers erupted from both sides, and the sound echoed throughout the arena. Humans and council members clapped and hugged, celebrating their newfound friendship. Rex, now resting by Dave's feet, barked happily, as if he understood the importance of the moment. The night ended with music and laughter as both groups began to plan their festival. They shared stories, danced, and created bonds that would last. The unexpected chaos of the day had transformed into something beautiful. New alliances built on joy, understanding, and hope for the future. In the vastness of the galaxy, this partnership was just the beginning. Together, humans and the Galactic Council were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by laughter and the promise of friendship. In a grand chamber on a massive spaceship, the Galactic Council sat in a circle. Each member came from a different world. There were tall, blue-skinned beings with long arms, tiny green creatures with huge eyes, and even a giant, fluffy creature that looked like a walking cloud. They were all serious as they gathered to discuss a big problem, humans. The council's leader, Elder Zorak, a wise and ancient alien, tapped his gavel made of shimmering crystals. We must address the strange behavior of the humans, he said, his voice deep and rumbling. They have become a concern for us all. A murmur spread through the chamber. The small green creature named Glip jumped up on his seat. I think humans are just insane. They do crazy things all the time. His big eyes sparkled with excitement. He had always been fascinated by human antics, but the other council members looked worried. Insane or not, we must be careful, said Marn, the warrior from the planet Drakon. His scales glinted in the light as he spoke. We have reports that humans act unpredictably. They throw wild parties, launch rockets without permission, and even challenge our best fighters to contests. This cannot be ignored! Elder Zorak nodded slowly. Indeed, the latest reports are alarming. Just yesterday, a group of humans interrupted an important diplomatic meeting between two alien races. They danced, sang loud songs, and even set off fireworks in the middle of the council. The room erupted in laughter, but the elder quickly silenced them. While their actions can be amusing, they pose a serious threat. We need to decide if we should confront them or try to understand their strange ways. Just then, a loud crash echoed through the chamber. The doors burst open, and a human burst in, panting and wild-eyed. He wore mismatched clothes and had a goofy grin on his face. "Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about humans," he shouted, waving his arms excitedly. The council members stared in shock. Marn growled, ready to leap up. "Who let this human in?" he demanded. Elder Zorak raised a hand to calm him. "Let him speak," he said. "We need to hear what he has to say." The human, who introduced himself as Jack, stood confidently before the council. "You've probably heard some wild stories about humans. We do things differently, but that's what makes us special." His voice was loud and cheerful. Glip's eyes widened in curiosity. "Why do you act so crazy?" he asked. Jack laughed. "Crazy? That's just us being ourselves. We love fun, adventure, and making the best of every situation. It's how we solve problems." Elder Zorak frowned. "But your antics cause chaos. You disrupt important meetings, and your behavior confuses other species." Jack shrugged. "We don't mean to disrupt. We just want to show that life can be exciting. Sometimes we have to think outside the box to solve problems." Marn crossed his arms. "But how can we trust you? What if your craziness leads to danger?" Jack smiled slyly. "What if it leads to something amazing? We humans have done crazy things like explore the moon, invent flying machines, and even send robots to other planets. You might be surprised by what we can do if you give us a chance." The council members exchanged glances. Elder Zorak considered Jack's words. "Perhaps we need to learn more about humans before making a decision," he said slowly. "We could observe them during their next activities." Glip jumped up again, waving his arms. "Yes, let's see what they do. It might be entertaining." Marn still looked skeptical, but even he couldn't resist a hint of curiosity. "Very well," he said grudgingly, "but if they cause trouble, we will take action." Jack beamed with excitement. "I promise you won't be disappointed. Just wait until you see what we humans can do." As the council continued to discuss, the atmosphere began to shift. What once felt like a serious crisis was slowly turning into a curious adventure. Perhaps humans weren't just insane. Maybe they were something much more interesting. The day had finally arrived for the Galactic Council to meet the human ambassador. Excitement buzzed in the air as the members gathered once more in the grand chamber. They had heard many stories about humans, and now they were eager to see one in person. Elder Zorak stood at the front, ready to welcome the ambassador. "Today we will meet a representative of the human race," he announced. "Let us hope he brings insight into their strange behavior." Just then, the doors swung open with a loud bang. In strode a tall human with wild hair and a bright smile. He wore a colorful outfit made of different fabrics, each one a different pattern. The council members blinked in surprise. This was not what they expected. "Greetings, Galactic Council," the ambassador said with enthusiasm. "I am Dave, your human ambassador. It's a pleasure to be here." He waved his arms wildly, almost knocking over a chair. The council members exchanged looks of disbelief. Marn, the warrior, frowned. "Is this how humans always dress? It looks ridiculous." "Ridiculous or not, it's a part of who we are," Dave replied, undeterred. "We like to express ourselves. That's what makes life fun." Elder Zorak cleared his throat. "Please sit down. We want to hear what you have to say." Dave plopped down in a chair, leaning forward eagerly. "I know you have many questions about humans. You probably think we are insane, right?" He chuckled, his laughter filling the room. Marn grunted, crossing his arms. "Your actions have been odd. Why do you act the way you do?" "Great question," Dave exclaimed. "Humans are curious beings. We seek adventure, we explore, and we love to try new things. It's in our nature." He leaned back in his chair, his eyes sparkling. "We believe life is an adventure to be enjoyed." Glip, the small green creature, bounced in his seat. "But don't you think that sometimes your adventures are too crazy? You've caused problems for us." Dave nodded seriously. "I understand, but sometimes those problems lead to the best stories. Like the time we launched a rocket to the moon and it almost went wrong, but we fixed it with duct tape." He burst into laughter again, and some council members couldn't help but chuckle too. Elder Zorak raised a brow. "Duct tape? What is that?" "It's a special tape that fixes everything," Dave said, his hands waving animatedly. We use it for repairs and building things. You should see how versatile it is. We even made a space shuttle using it." Marn shook his head in disbelief. "That sounds dangerous." "Maybe, but it shows our creativity," Dave replied. "We humans think outside the box. If something seems impossible, we find a way to make it happen. That's what makes us special." Elder Zorak leaned closer. "So you believe that your unpredictability is a strength?" "Exactly," Dave beamed. "We embrace the chaos. It helps us innovate and grow. If we didn't take risks, we would never achieve great things." Glip's eyes lit up. "What else can you show us?" "I can show you how to have fun," Dave said with a grin. "We can play games, do silly challenges, and maybe even have a dance-off. It will be a blast!" The council members exchanged hesitant glances. Marn still looked skeptical, but the other members appeared intrigued. "A dance-off?" he echoed, raising an eyebrow. "Sure. It's a human way to celebrate and bond," Dave replied. "We believe laughter brings people together." Elder Zorak considered this idea. "Perhaps we should allow you to show us these games. It may help us understand humans better." "Absolutely," Dave said, jumping up from his seat. "You won't regret it. Let's have some fun." As the meeting continued, the atmosphere shifted. What once felt tense and serious began to transform into an exciting adventure. Maybe, just maybe, humans had something valuable to share with the Galactic Council. And as they prepared for the upcoming challenges, a sense of curiosity and excitement filled the room. The sun shone brightly on the grand arena outside the Galactic Council's spaceship. It was time for the humans to show what they could do. The council members gathered, excitement buzzing in the air. They had never seen a human contest before, and curiosity filled their minds. Dave, the human ambassador, stood at the center of the arena, beaming with enthusiasm. He wore a bright t-shirt that said, "Let's get crazy," in bold letters. Around him, humans had set up various fun stations. There were colorful banners, games, and loud music playing. The council members watched in wonder. "Welcome, everyone," Dave shouted, waving his arms. "Today, we will have a series of crazy contests to show you the fun side of being human. Are you ready?" The council members exchanged glances. Marn, the warrior, crossed his arms, still skeptical. "What kind of contests?" he asked, eyeing the strange games set up around the arena. You'll see. We have 3 exciting challenges," Dave announced, his energy infectious. "First, we'll have a scavenger hunt. Second, a wacky obstacle course. And finally, a dance-off. Each contest will show you how humans think and play." Glip jumped up and down, his big eyes sparkling. "That sounds amazing. I want to see it all." The first challenge began. Dave explained the scavenger hunt rules. "I will give you a list of items to find around the arena. The first team to gather everything wins." He handed out colorful paper with silly items like a shiny rock and a funny hat. The council members teamed up with humans eager to win. Marn paired up with Glip, while Elder Zorak teamed up with a human named Sarah, known for her cleverness. The countdown began, and everyone dashed off in different directions, excitedly searching for the items. As they searched, laughter filled the air. Marn grumbled as he ran around, but Glip zipped from one spot to another, his excitement contagious. They found the shiny rock hidden in a plant and grabbed a funny hat from Dave's own head. Elder Zorak and Sarah worked well together, using their keen observation skills to gather the items quickly. As the time ticked down, the council members realized how much fun they were having. Even Marn couldn't help but smile as they raced to the finish line. In the end, Elder Zorak and Sarah won by just a few seconds. "Congratulations," Dave shouted, clapping his hands. "You did great." The next contest was the obstacle course, which featured inflatable barriers, giant balls, and even a water slide. Dave explained the rules again. "You must work together to get through this course. It will be messy, but that's the fun part." The council members watched as humans dove into the challenge with laughter. Marn took a deep breath, ready to conquer the obstacles with Glip by his side. The two raced through, bouncing off walls and slipping down the slide, both laughing the entire way. Elder Zorak and Sarah tackled the course methodically, but they too ended up drenched and giggling by the end. Once everyone finished the obstacle course, they were covered in foam and water, looking silly and cheerful. The council members began to realize that humans' craziness brought a different kind of joy to the event. Finally, it was time for the dance-off. Dave explained the rules once again. "Each team will take turns dancing, and you'll be judged on creativity and fun. Let's show off our moves." As the music played, the atmosphere shifted into one of pure excitement. Humans and council members danced side by side, showcasing their unique styles. Elder Zorak surprised everyone by doing a traditional dance from his home planet, and the crowd cheered loudly. When it was Dave's turn, he performed a wild dance, twisting and turning with crazy moves. The audience roared with laughter and applause. The dance-off brought everyone together, breaking down barriers and forming new friendships. When the final song ended, everyone was breathless and smiling. The contests had not only shown the council members how humans acted, but they had also brought everyone together in a joyful celebration. Dave raised his hands in triumph. "What do you think? Wasn't that fun?" The council members nodded, their faces lit up with smiles. Even Marn had to admit it was a good time. "Maybe your craziness is not so bad after all," he said, a hint of laughter in his voice. The day had transformed into a memorable event, where laughter and joy filled the air. The Galactic Council had discovered that perhaps the humans weren't just insane, they were outrageously fun. The atmosphere in the grand arena was electric after the thrilling contests. Council members and humans mingled, laughing and celebrating their newfound friendship. But as they basked in the joy, an unexpected twist was about to unfold. Dave, the human ambassador, stood on a makeshift stage, beaming with pride. "Thank you all for participating. This was a blast! But hold on, there's one more surprise." He paused dramatically, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "We have a special guest joining us." Just then, the crowd heard a loud roar from the distance. The ground shook slightly as something big approached. The council members exchanged worried glances. Marn's eyes widened, and he instinctively stood taller, ready for action. "What is that noise?" Elder Zorak asked, frowning. "Is it another contest or a threat?" Dave laughed, waving his hands. "Don't worry, it's just my friend Rex. Let's say he's a special kind of pet." Before anyone could react, a massive creature burst into the arena. It was a giant, fluffy dog-like creature with bright green fur and enormous, floppy ears. The crowd gasped, some stepping back in surprise. Rex bounded into the arena, barking joyfully, his tail wagging like a propeller. "Rex!" Dave shouted, laughing. "Come here, boy!" But Rex had other ideas. Instead of running to Dave, the excited creature dashed straight toward the council members, his tongue lolling out and eyes sparkling with excitement. He jumped around, barking happily, clearly enjoying the attention. Elder Zorak stumbled back, trying to avoid the playful beast. "What kind of animal is this?" he exclaimed, eyes wide with confusion. Marn, however, was caught off guard. Rex leaped into him, knocking him down with a happy yelp. Marn grunted, wrestling with the fluffy creature as Rex licked his face. The crowd erupted in laughter at the sight of the fierce warrior being overwhelmed by a giant dog. "Get it off me!" Marn shouted, struggling to push Rex away, but the creature was too playful. Dave chuckled, trying to regain control of the situation. "Rex, come back!" he called, but the creature was too busy enjoying the chaos he had created. Rex darted around, jumping on humans and council members alike, spreading joy and a bit of foam from the earlier obstacle course. Glip, the little green creature, squealed with delight. "I love him! He's so cute!" He rushed forward to pet Rex, who immediately turned his attention to him, barking excitedly and knocking Glip down as well. The council members couldn't help but laugh, even Marn, who finally managed to push Rex away. "I've faced many enemies, but this is the strangest one yet," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. "Don't worry, Rex just wants to play," Dave called, trying to catch his fluffy friend. "He's harmless." As chaos continued, the arena filled with laughter and barking. Humans and council members tried to keep up with Rex's energy, running around and joining in the playful mess. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any crazier, Rex suddenly spotted something shiny on the ground. It was a reflection from a council member's medal. With a bark, he dashed toward it, causing a chain reaction of pandemonium. The council members panicked as Rex leaped into the air, grabbing the medal and sprinting around the arena with it in his mouth. "Stop him!" someone yelled, but no one could catch the speedy creature. Elder Zorak shouted, "That medal is a symbol of our authority!" Dave burst into laughter, holding his sides. "Rex, come back, you naughty boy!" Rex zigzagged around the arena, dodging everyone who tried to catch him. He was having the time of his life, and the audience was thoroughly entertained. Finally, Dave managed to corner Rex near a wall. "Rex, sit!" he commanded. The giant dog sat down, panting happily, still holding the shiny metal in his mouth. Dave carefully approached and took it back, chuckling. "You little rascal! You gave everyone a scare." The arena erupted in applause and laughter. Even the council members, despite their earlier worries, were thoroughly amused by the unexpected chaos. Elder Zorak shook his head, trying to hide his smile. Perhaps this creature is not so bad after all. He has brought much joy today. Dave grinned, looking at the crowd. "See? Humans and our pets can create happiness, even when it's a little chaotic." As everyone regained their composure, the spirit of friendship grew stronger. This unexpected chaos had united them all in laughter and joy, proving that sometimes the wildest moments are the most memorable. The grand arena was filled with laughter and cheers after the chaos brought by Rex, the fluffy creature. Humans and council members were now united in shared joy, their earlier fears forgotten. As the excitement settled down, a sense of camaraderie hung in the air. Dave stood on the makeshift stage, looking at the crowd with pride. "Thank you all for joining us today. This was just the beginning of our friendship," he said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "We've shown you that humans can be fun and a bit crazy, but we also have much more to offer." Elder Zorak stepped forward, nodding thoughtfully. "Indeed, today has opened my eyes to the nature of humans. You have a strange way of bringing joy, and perhaps we can learn from you."